KKHT wants you to meet three of the classiest guys in real estate.
I am Chris Kelso, the maestro of mortgage.
I am Rob Cook, the godfather of real estate.
And I'm Joe Orsack, the king of credit swing. And together, we're the Real Estate Rat Pack. Much like us, real estate right now is smoking hot. So whether it's buying, selling, or owning, you need to check out the Real Estate Rat Pack.
They're here to take your calls and answer your questions live. Call now, 1-800-808-5548. And now, the Real Estate Rat Pack.
Woo! Good morning. How is everybody?
Good morning, Houston.
I've had my coffee. I'm ready to go. Hi, how's it going? How are y'all doing?
Well, Joe, before we start, I think you have an introduction with one of our guests here.
Well, we want to welcome everybody to this Saturday show. It's going to be a great show. We got a packed house of a lot of great people here. We're talking about What You Don't Know Can Hurt You Part 2. There's always so much information to share on this subject, and we get so much feedback on the website and everything and questions that we carry it over to a second show. So we've got Jason Jimenez here with the Jimenez Insurance Agency. We've got Legend Homes, some great folks from Legend Homes. Bill and crew from One Guard, going to talk about some of that. Karen White, a guest of One Guard. A whole host of wonderful people.
And in the studio with us today is our two people I had invited. I've been very excited. I've been trying to get them on the show for a long time. Is Briggs and Suzy Smith. They are with Legend Princeton Homes. Please say good morning to everybody.
Good morning.
Get right up on that microphone so they can hear you. So anyway, and in keeping with the theme of what you don't know can hurt you, and we kind of talked about this briefly in the kind of in our staging area before we get into the show, is, you know, what are the things that when someone comes into your place that you start with to start kind of educating them as to what to look for when buying a new Legend home or Princeton Homes?
I mean, it's not just a willy-nilly. They walk in and say, you know, we don't want to buy a house today. We were driving around and it just kind of hit us. No. Do you have a process you educate the buyer on when they walk through the doors to try to help them avoid some of the pitfalls of the unexperienced buyer, that kind of thing, to get the home that would be a best fit for them?
Absolutely. And I think one of the main things that we try to promote when we're dealing with a prospect or a customer coming in the door is making sure that they're first in the right area. Is this the community that you're wanting to be in? Looking at school districts, things around job, businesses. But second, looking at the needs. What are your needs as a buyer? What are you looking for in a new home? Why are you wanting to move? A lot of times, if we start down that path versus looking at just price point, then we'll find the right home for them.
Well, that's a unique approach, because I know a lot of times people will have something that they have a product or something that they want to kind of push to the consumer, but you're saying more like, we're going to do an analysis of what your needs are, what your need school districts, and maybe questions. I know I always, when I do analysis, you know, where do you work, where do you play?
Exactly. Type
of thing. So kind of address that when you have how many communities that you're working in right now?
Well, in our Legend communities, we've got 17 and currently have 12 Princeton communities. Okay. So quite a few throughout the city.
So if you got 29 communities and someone walks in one community and you start doing an analysis, you can kind of say, you know what? You're a better fit for this community.
Absolutely. And we do an in-house referral, if you will, so that customer, not only are we going to take them to that other community, introduce them to the new salesperson they weren't originally with, and make sure that, again, their needs are what's being focused on.
And kind of put yourself in the consumer's point. You walk into a new sales office and you might be a little intimidated. What are the things that people should be asking, or what should the sales counselor be saying to people who are about to buy?
Absolutely. The first thing needs to be, again, what are your needs? Why are you moving? Most of the time, we'll find a change of life. Maybe there's a change of life situation, either downsizing, upsizing. Maybe there's a new child in the home. Maybe one's leaving the nest. Starting with those questions, really, if you would, sitting down at a table, talking, communicating, and looking through what those needs are before we even look at a plan.
Yeah. Well, you've got a couple of competitors out there. And so when you're talking with people, I know that I've been to your places. I know that you don't, downplay a competitor, but you do put a distinctive spin, I guess it is, on what you do better or what type of things that you put
Absolutely.
in your home. So kind of talk about those items.
We encourage folks to sit down, take the information they maybe have obtained from other builders, and we'll look at that with them. Matter of fact, we do something in our communities which is called a third-party book. And that book actually has what we do lined out, graphed out for the consumer, for the buyer, to look at, noting those differences. Some of the big ones. washer and dryer, refrigerator, blinds. People don't think about that all the time when they're moving into a new home, but yet we're going to sit down with you and show you, hey, with us, it's included. So you're going to have that in your home. You're not going to think about that. I guess one of the biggest things that we offer and provide is on the closing cost side of things. That out-of-pocket money that you're going to need to actually get the keys to your new home, we're going to provide that for you, up to the 4% that's allowed.
Well, that'd be a good example of one of the what you don't knows can hurt you. If you have to drop a grand on a new washer dryer after closing because
you haven't bought one in a while, have you?
Do
you
I?
can drop more.
Yeah. Way underestimated right there.
Yeah, you can tell who buys those in the household. So,
But you're absolutely right.
a grand apiece.
Yeah, there you go.
Folks come in, and once you look at that, and we'll say, if we don't provide something, we're going to tell you that we don't. But you'll be hard pressed to find something we don't. And it is amazing how many people think, wow, you know what? I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
I didn't think about a fridge. I didn't think about closing cost. I didn't think about all that. So you're absolutely right.
Well, I've recently put new blinds in the entire house, so I know what those can cost.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Well, people are very energy conscious. We actually had some people talking about energy. We had a Reliant on the air not too long ago. Talk about the kind of energy efficiency items that you use at home, the R factors and things like that, and then what it means also.
Absolutely. And, we are Environments for Living, so it's an accelerated program. Go by the HERS rating system. Each one of our homes is got that HERS rating on it, and the efficiency ratings in our homes exceed the building requirements, building codes. So we also go through that for each particular plan. So each home has that high efficiency rating. Again, it's going to be Environments for Living, and it's lined out. It's a gold series and a gold standard in energy efficiency. And basically, that HERS rating is going to tell us, how much of the energy in our homes are we actually using and how much is escaping. Is it going out the attic? Is it going out the front doors? That kind of thing. And that analysis is quite eye-opening for a lot of people.
Well, we like the hot air to be escaping out of the attic and things like that.
Yes.
So, of course, I think most people are now familiar with R factor stuff. What should someone look for in energy efficiency and R factors in the walls and the ceilings and things like that?
Well, and again, we've got all of that lined out for them in each of our standard features. In some of our communities, it varies specifically. But those R values are going to be, again, what is that radiant barrier providing for you as far as containing your air conditioning, your heating, those type of things throughout the home. It's going to vary per community, but we do have that specified. But basically what that's telling you is, again, how much of your home is insulated, keeping heat in and out, or cool in throughout the different seasons.
Have you ever had anybody come back and say, I'm so glad I bought this house. You can't believe it, my electric bills compared to my old home was?
Absolutely, and we actually do that as well. We actually, in these books, will go through what the vinyl windows, what the Tech Shield, what the R values actually are providing for the home versus a home that was even built maybe 10, 15 years ago. So lining that out, again, is another eye-opening thing, and ask for that when you go out. Ask to see that number.
Always trying to touch on the subject of the show. This is a hot button for me right now because at our house right now, with the heat being what it's been, our house, we talked about this last week. We had the energy show, and not last week, 2 weeks ago.
Time flies.
Time flies, yes. But it gets to 80 degrees in my house, and that's as cool as it's going to get. And it was built in the early 90s, and had single pane, horrible windows and all this sort of thing. And even with a newer unit, a 6-year-old AC unit, it still gets to 80 degrees in the house, and it's frustrating.
Right.
So that's one of those things where you're out when you're buying resale versus buying new, that if you're unaware of, you really haven't gotten versed on, can hurt you.
It can.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
And Kim, we are still working on him buying you a new house.
I've got like a full court press going on here. We've got builders coming on the show, and every week it's, Joe, you really need to sell your house.
Well, we're here for you. I tell you what, we'll take care of you.
Yes.
But it is interesting, just on that note, how and we try to educate folks too as well on how to utilize the tools they have at hand. The digital programmable thermostats, making sure that they're using and programming those, all of those, because you're right. When it gets up into the hundreds around here, you need to make sure you're doing everything right. You've got everything programmed, cooling it down early so it'll stay and retain in the home.
So, and of course, going back to what John said, keeping to the theme of the show is what you don't know can hurt you. What are the things that people are like surprised about that they didn't even think about asking about that you all do for them?
I think that a lot of folks are surprised about how tight the construction is on our homes. When you start talking about what the foundations are poured to, what the framework of the home is actually built to, A lot of industry standards are what we would call 24 on center. So your 2x4s are 24 inches apart. We build all of our homes at 16 inches.
Wow.
So it's an eye-opening factor to folks to see just how sturdy the walls are in the home. Same thing with the plumbing. If you do, in some communities we do the PEX system. Some of them we do Flow Gold. It's just interesting to see where people are, especially if they have not bought a home in a long time.
Yeah, talk about the PEX system. Tell me what that is.
Well, basically, that allows you to go in and put your plumbing in the walls. It's a good system. It's indicated with your your red and your blue, obviously hot and cold. And there's none of the fittings or the lead or the welding going on inside the walls of your home. Your water's not passing through any kind of metals that could harm you. But basically, that PEX system, too, if you elect, you can put a manifold on the home and be able to turn the water off and on at that location, one location for the whole house. So you're not having to run upstairs to the secondary toilet. When it's overflowing, you can go to the garage and turn it off real quick and then go up and deal with it.
And, Brett, you were saying something also about we could have a lot of fun with this. He's got a 9-step program. I don't know if this is recover from home building or not, but you've got a
Hi, my name is Joe.
Program.
And
First, admit your
Joe, we're here to help
construction.
you as a new home buyer. Really, there's 9 steps that when you walk into our offices, our sales professionals, Legend and Princeton Homes, we're going to be there for you. First and foremost, we're going to make sure that you got your finances in order. That's going to be the first thing. Go in, make sure we're going to get you with our preferred lender and review those things. Once you have those done, step 2 would be do your homework. Know, again, where you want to live. Look at the community, look at your commute, the schools, the churches, the shopping, those type of things. Pick your neighborhood. The third thing is to make a prioritized wish list. Go in, we're going to work with you, we're going to sit down, we're going to look at your needs, we're going to go through those things, the covered patios, fireplaces, making sure that 1, they're in the budget, and 2, they're prioritized to your needs. Fourth thing is, again, find the right home. Find the right home that meets your needs. Number 5 is going to be consider looking at an inventory home. If you're looking at a home out there, one that's already on the ground that does meet all your needs and that has things that you need and want in a home, you can buy that home and close on it rather quickly and don't have the fear of delays, hurricanes, things like that, shortchanging and kind of changing your path, if you will. Number 6, don't wait. If you see a home you like, you find a home with a home builder in a community that you want, especially now, buy it. Go in there, get your ducks in a row, and buy the home, claim it.
in this market, you don't want to blink.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think, Karen, you'd probably agree with this, that inventory is probably one of our biggest issues right now.
Oh, multiple offers on properties right now. You really need to know what you're doing. What you don't know can hurt you.
Absolutely, and we're going to be there to make sure that you do know what you're doing. Watch your spending. When you're under contract with a new home, don't go out and buy a new car or any other big purchases. Maintain that level of income so that we can close and get you the keys in your hands. Number 8, we're going to plan your move. We're going to work with you through the steps. We're going to work with you on coordinating and planning that closing. Nothing is more frustrating than loading up a moving truck, getting in front of your new home, and having to have it sit there for 2 or 3 days before you can move in. And last but not least, have fun. Have fun with the process. If you're not
we know how to
having
do.
fun. Yes.
Celebrate.
Have fun, celebrate. And if you do those 9 things, the 10th thing, you're going to rank your experience, your new home. You're always going to pull up to the right home, and you're going to rank it a 10.
Now, are things like tankless water heaters and stuff available in your homes as an option?
They are available as an option. They're still, numbers to be looked at, but they are available, as well as foam insulation is available.
Wow, we are up against a break. Every time
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 flies.
flies, we've got to jump out to some commercials. We're going to be right back after this, guys. Give us a call, 800-808-5548, if you have some questions for the awesome experts we have in the studio, and we'll be right back.